Hi, this is Smislav the Slayer doing a live Blitz chess game commentary. Queen pawn opening. Play c45. And this is, I guess, like the trash. Maybe he's supposed to play e6 first? I don't know. Here I just play d5. Then e4. No, I don't play e4 yet. Knight to c3, then e4. I'm gonna go ahead and play a4 first to prevent b5 from happening. And I think e4 is going to be pretty good. He's not going to be able to protect this pawn. I definitely just play e4 here. And I'm going to play, I think, bishop to e3 if he tries to play queen to e7 check. Okay. This is kind of a weird opening. I'll try to go over this after the game's over. Because there's just, I don't think, I know this isn't good for black. Or it's not great for black. I don't know if it's bad for black, but it's kind of hard to determine why. Like the exact move orders and stuff you want to be doing. Yeah, but okay, now things are very smooth for me. I think I actually just want to play. Can I just do rook to e1 here first? With the idea bishop to e7 and d6, right? d6. That's kind of a killer. What else can he do? I guess knight to e4 doesn't work. Well, let's see. Rook to e1 check, bishop to e7, d6, knight takes c4, rook takes e7 check, right? Or do I want to just play... no, I think I'd want to play rook, pawn takes e7, queen takes this thing, rook takes, king takes. Then, I mean, that doesn't actually end up working out that well for me. Because I'll be down a pawn. Now, what if I do it the other way? Rook to e1 check, 76, knight takes, bishop, or rook takes check, king to f8. Bishop to, queen to d5, maybe. No, he's going to have his knight here still. Knight to d5, maybe. Knight takes pawn. Knight takes knight. Bishop takes knight. I'm kind of spending too much time on this, actually. Yeah, my opponent asks if I'm here. Yeah, I'm still here. Let's see. Alright, I'm just going to play rook to e1 check. Because I think that's a good first move. Can I just play... I mean, I gotta get this bishop out of here. Let's see. Oh, wow, okay. Well, if he's gonna do it that way, I mean, that's just... Okay. That changes a lot of things, I think. So is he gonna go here? No, he's gonna go there. Just take the knight. Or the bishop. Then take the knight. We have queen to g4. I mean, this is... Yeah. We're gonna just trade off bishops as the end result here. But actually, I'm going to win this piece, I think. Queen to g4 check, knight takes, or queen takes this thing. There's nothing he can do about it. Can I just do bishop to f4? I think that's actually worse, because the knight can get back here then. I'll just take the knight. Yeah. And now maybe bishop to f4 would be so bad, just to trade off bishops here. I guess if he's going to do it that, then... Bishop to e3. Bishop to e3. I'm going to play g3. h4. If he plays b5, I'll just go to queen e2, I think. Yeah, queen e2, queen e2, queen f3 at some point might be good. G3 is definitely going to be good. Yeah, just queen f3 right off the bat. G3, rook A to C1. Knight to e4. I think knight to e4 might be next. I guess I can take this pawn right now, but I'm not sure if I even want to. I think that'd just be kind of wasting time when I don't really need to waste time like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and play g3 right away. I'm not sure if that's best. But now I'm going to play... He's got h5, h4. But I think if I play knight to e4, his bishop is somewhat trapped. Oh, that's just terrible. That's... On his part, I mean. I have bishop to b6 check. If he moves his knight, then I have d6 check. I have rook to c1 and b3. Okay, take that. He's got to take with the king. Bishop to f4 check. He's got to go like to here to c5. If he goes, he's got to go to c5. B4 check takes. I want to do it this way. Rook to c3. Queen to c3, checkmated. Okay, cool. Yeah. Let's just go to edit mode. So this opening here, I think when he plays d5, I wonder if I should play c4 here. I think probably d4 is fine. He plays d5. There's like kind of two main options, I guess. One is to take, which I don't like, and the other one is to play c4, which I do like because that's why I played it. Then d5, knight to f6. I wonder if he should play e3 right or e6 right away. I think it actually won't end up mattering. And if he just, I mean, I think it just ends up not mattering at all. And now at this stage, he kind of needs to do that because his development is messed up. And I think that's kind of e6. He can't get a knight to c6, which is kind of one of the main reasons you'd even want to play c5, is so you can put your knight on the more active square than d7 and not block in your c-pawn. But he can't do that now. And if he does this, I think that's bad, because now I can finally take that without reservation. I mean, this just isn't any good for him. I mean, I guess he could do something like that, but this just isn't good for. That's no good for him. So he's sort of forced into this. So this position's kind of just what you'd expect here. And I think a6, a4 is the right response to that. Because what can he do now? Same sort of idea, knight to d7. Bishop, and then the bishop's going to take. Knight to d7. Bishop takes. Maybe knight to b5 right away would be what he wants to do. Before I get a chance to castle. But then where is he going to want his bishop aside from other than g4? Maybe he should just, maybe he doesn't have time for that, and he just, maybe that's would make his position significantly better. Just ignore g4, bishop to g4, just play bishop to e7. Yep, mouse is going kind of crazy. And I think h3, maybe, to allow me to play bishop to e3. That seems kind of weird, though. I think maybe just rook to e1. I am going to have to develop my bishop at some point. Maybe bishop to f4. I don't like that. Bishop to e3, knight to g4, bishop to f4. Maybe bishop to e3, and then if knight to g4, now I can just play bishop to f4. And I don't... Because bishop to f4 doesn't really do a whole lot. Like, he's just going to play this. The one thing it does threaten... No, it doesn't threaten that. We can play that. Yeah, I think that'll work out, because bishop to e3, and then rook to a1 is the next move here. He doesn't have to play queen, knight to g4 right away. 1, 2, 3. I mean, this is just isolated queen pawn versus not isolated queen pawn. And I think white is doing pretty well here. I mean, maybe he wants to play d6 instead of e7. That could be a possibility. Oops, wrong one. No, not that. Bishop to d6. Or maybe actually knight to b7 isn't so bad. Oops. Now here, bishop to d6. Now this doesn't work nearly as well for white. But I don't know, that's kind of that f6 thing's kind of a big weakness. Doesn't really even have to do it either, just go here. Yeah. No, I don't think that's going to work out. That's not going to work out at all. So black's going to have to castle kingside. I was thinking if black could castle queenside, then f6, g5, g4, or h6, g5, g4 might be a nice move. Like maybe f6, bishop to e3, g5, h5, g4 would be a pretty strong attack. But the thing is, I don't think black has enough time to get to castle queenside. So let's see. And here, I don't think he needed to quite do that, all of that, what he did here. Maybe something like this. It's not, I don't think it's going to work because there's not going to be a checkmate here. And this is going to cause a lot of problems here if I try to do something like that. I guess you take this thing. Huh. Maybe just like that, actually. Well, maybe it's harder for black to get out of this than I originally thought it would be. Because I don't really see too many good moves for black. And that's not really that bad, honestly. Though actually, I guess this is going to be pretty bad. Right? And something like that. Uh, hmm. Yeah, the move he made, the move he did decide on was not good though at all. Um, let's see, after f4, g6. What about just king to g8? Hmm. I really don't see a good move for black here is the thing. g6, bishop to g5, king to d7, and then queen to d5. Um, yeah, this looks pretty bad for black. uh, so g6 I don't think is going to work out too well. No, but he can just take this, can he? Right? No, he can't. Because you can just, yeah. Hmm. So I'm pretty sure g6 is not going to work. Because at bishop to g5, this knight is too important. It's like controlling the d5 square, which is really important for uh, black to maintain control of because of queen to d5. Um, and just the way it's going to work out is now because yeah, it's threatening checkmate and this knight, and also just like rook to f7 takes f7 check, king takes bishop take, which isn't like a big material loss for like a bishop and a rook for the queen, but that's I don't know. So in something like king to g8 doesn't really solve any of the problems. What about g5? No, that'd just be terrible. Okay, like rook to a7. No, that's not good. These rooks are really, that's just, yeah, black's is going to have a real cramped position. So maybe bishop to e7 just doesn't work either. So maybe, I mean, I think that's kind of what it looks like. Bishop to e7. Because from here, all the moves are pretty much forced. After bishop to f4. And I don't see any good way for black to get out of this mess. Now, how does white really proceed here? I think just something like queen to b3 maybe, actually. Now then knight takes. No, queen to b3 won't work. Maybe just something real simple. Like h5. Or h6. Why not h6? Now g6, and there's not going to be a bishop to g5. Plus you can just play g5, I guess, right away and try to get the bishop off this thing. And then how does white proceed? This? Then you just have that. So that doesn't work. Queen to d3. Queen to d3 might actually work out pretty well. Bishop takes f3 doesn't work because of the mate threat here. And this is just, that loses the piece. So that's something to keep in mind. Knight takes d is not going to work out here because they still have enough material here. So maybe knight to b6 would be required here. And now knight to d4. looks like it's going to be pretty devastating. Bishop to e6. Maybe it's not that devastating, to be honest. Maybe just like that. Yeah, I think that is going to be pretty much losing. Because black's going to be in such a bind. I mean, there could be some weird tactical line that lets black get out of this, but I really doubt it. And queen to d3, I think, is the way to go. After 8, that's the way white progresses. By getting this knight off the d6 pawn. No, wait, what about b5 here, though? Will that work? Maybe that works. h3. Actually, b5 might work to make sure to keep this knight on the c4 square and on the d6 pawn. And I guess the b2 pawn as well. Here h3. I don't, because then it's going to trade off some pieces. What's this endgame look like? g5. g6. Takes, takes, takes. This actually doesn't look too bad for, I guess, I don't know if black would want to do it. But this actually doesn't look too bad for black. Does it? 7. I think black would just have to ignore that. Maybe go here. Like that. Right. Yeah, this actually does look pretty bad for black. Because there's no way for him to save those. These two pawns are just going to fall. And now... Well, maybe... I don't know. Let's see. Check. Let's go back. King goes here, and then to here, and then this pawn falls. So maybe that endgame with b5 here is actually that's the way to do it. What was that? f4, h6, queen to d3, b5. That's right. And then a takes, rook takes, queen takes. Maybe here, instead of doing that, though, this checkmate threat here is one of the main problems here, but it's not that bad. Does something like this work? Knight to e1. Just because keeping the queens on is very helpful. Well, maybe just h3 and just play it that way. Yeah, this might not actually be so bad. And then like a check doesn't really do a whole lot. g5. I guess it's kind of similar. But see, with the queens on, this pawn is much more powerful. Like right away. Okay, not right away. But yeah, queen to f5. There's a mate threat that's pretty difficult to stop, actually. Like, yeah, it's actually really difficult to stop. So maybe that's what I would do here is b5, trade off that, and then just play h3, which gives the king a little spot to move here. I imagine bishop takes f3 is the best. It might not be, though. Maybe just going to g6 eventually is good for black. I mean, honestly, that might not be so bad. But then I think that knight to d4, b3 maybe might be actually pretty bad. Might get rough for black. Because he's gonna have the same problems he had before, where his knight and whatnot are not in the best spots. And yeah, now, well, with this bishop on g6 though, things are a bit different. Knight to d4, g6. No, g6 would be terrible. Maybe just actually this. No, that's terrible too, because that loses the piece. And g4, I think, is going to be coming here soon, right? For white. g4, bishop to g6, and then knight takes g6, pawn takes, and then black's got even more weaknesses to deal with. Queen f5 becomes a lot more difficult to deal with. And I think king to g8, I think you just meet that with this move. And now you got a lot of different threats here. And I don't think taking is going to work out very well for black. Oops. Ah, shoot. Oops. Okay. Well, that's a pretty complicated position. This wasn't the best. This wasn't what we wanted to do. And yeah, this is all how the game went. Takes. And here, this is just no good because now I wonder if actually maybe my move was a little hasty. So what if he just goes here? Well, I think I still take this. Then he still take that. So I guess that's all pretty much going to be the same sort of thing. He just doesn't lose the knight in this variation. Bishop to f4 is not going to work. So this is, I mean, significantly better for black. Knight to d6. Yeah, this is actually a lot better for black. And maybe g3 actually, just to allow bishop to f4. Maybe b5. Bishop to e7. Bishop to e7 looks kind of weird. I'll just do it. I don't think that's the best, but I'll just do it for... Yeah. And then, I mean, maybe like that. Knight can maybe go to a4. Knight to a4, b4, knight to b6. I mean, that doesn't look great for black, because I think white will have some strong attacking stuff. But I think, I mean, black's got some decent possibilities here as well. So maybe that's actually, maybe black's move wasn't so bad. It was just the follow-up. Queen e7. Though honestly, in this position, I think that knight to e5 is not the right move. I think probably bishop to e2 is going to be better here. Now knight to e5 is a much better threat. Much better threat. So I think black would just have to move even to like to here maybe. Maybe back to c8. And now I think bishop to b3, like bishop to f4. Let's see. Oh, maybe knight to e5 anyway. Takes. That's probably not good. Oh, there's this move though. Yeah, so I think knight to e5 might have actually been a mistake as well. because with king to c7, black, there's not going to be the queen to g4 check winning this piece. And that was kind of a big part of why this position was good for white in the first place. I guess queen to g4 is still a good move, actually. Yeah. I mean, that's... check. Yeah, I mean, this is, I don't know if this is better for black, but this is, I think, fine for black. Might be better for black. Because this pawn now all of a sudden is not really hindering black's development, it's just a weakness. Let's see, I think I think this video is kind of longer. I'm not sure. I've done a lot of analysis here. I think this is a lot of interesting stuff here, though. So I hope it was helpful for people to watch all this analysis. And thanks for watching.